Encore by David Eagleman, from the book Some 40 Tales from the Afterlives. Although the concept of the afterlife is quite old, its full-scale implementation has only gotten into swing in the last century. The afterlife existed before then, but only barely. To understand this, you need to be aware that your creators are talented at just that, creation. But they're not involved with the observation and judgment of our actions, as we had previously supposed them to be. The creators watch none of the details as our lives unfold. They could not care less. Only afterward do they become interested again, when they have the opportunity to do what they do best: create. At this second stage, they are called recreators, and their goal is to find all available records of your life and create a simulation of you, reconstructing all your days. They take it as their challenge to see if they can recover a good likeness of you from the piles of evidence you've left behind. They begin by tracking down your birth, marriage, and death records. For most people, the afterlife started only a few hundred years ago, when record-keeping began. Then, they take account of the phone company records, every call you made and to whom. Every credit card purchase is retrieved and analyzed for time, location, and purchase. The recreators analyze every existing frame of video footage on the planet for your appearance. Buying coffee at a convenience store, standing in front of an ATM, withdrawing money, clutching a diploma, walking unwittingly in the background of other people's home videos, eating a hot dog in the bleachers during a basketball game. They're artists of information, and each data point adds a bit more pigment to their accumulating portrait of you. Each detail is marked with a confidence rating for the source and checked for consistency against other data points. Millions of facts are gathered, facts so richly structured and interconnected that they constitute a hard shell that retains your shape when you disappear from the middle of it. From school records, the recreators closely approximate what pieces of knowledge you had at a particular moment in your life. This information is neatly dovetailed with detailed historical records. They recreate what you were likely to have seen around you each day. And by examining your newspaper subscriptions, they model the world events that would have affected you. From deep within this jungle of data, they can deduce the exact dates of your various relationships, when they began, when they ended, and whether they overlapped. The recreators come to understand you from every form you filled out, every word you typed on the internet, the mail you received from others, why people thank you, who chastises you, what advice your lovers seek, what favors your friends ask, which mailing lists you're on, your tax returns. In previous generations, when you awoke in the afterlife, it was easy to tell you that you were merely a simulation because your details were so sparse. The feeling of emptiness on most days allowed you to know that you were a cheap reproduction of your former self. But with today's rich data, the recreators can reconstruct you so seamlessly that your afterlife is essentially a perfect replica of the original. It feels so much like the real thing that in the afterlife, you only rarely wonder whether you've lived all this before, haunted occasionally by déjà vu, holding a book in your hand and not knowing whether this is the first time or a replay from eons past.